So equinox means equal day, equal night. On that day, actually it's between the 20th and the 21st, the sun is over the equator and it sheds equal light on both sides of or the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. So that marks the fall season or the autumn season. You see, so and that
should we be doing something different then? If the seasons are changing and people live in, especially us in the northern parts, it's going to get cooler for sure. Football weather, as they would say. But anything other than that, what should we look forward to starting Sunday?
Well, we number one need to eat what is in season now. If you go to your local farmers or your farmers markets, usually they're going to have foods that are seasonal foods. So let's take pumpkin. You know, this is the time for squash and pumpkins. And pumpkins have a lot of zinc, especially their seeds. Zinc has an electrical vibration that actually illuminates or charges thus the immune system. Zinc is very important for the immune system. You know, and if you can get it from pumpkin seeds, we should be eating them. You know, a lot of folks clean out the pumpkin and, you know, put it out as a jack-o'-lantern and throw away the seeds. No, the seeds are very important. You know, so seeds and berries are very important at this particular time of the year. The berries that are in season, the foods that are in season, like the greens are coming into this particular season. We should be eating a lot of those. And as winter comes, we start eating more and more root vegetables. Now, if we're still eating a lot of animal products are going to weaken your immune system unless they were natural animals that grew in the wild and you went out and trapped them and caught them or whatever. And if you notice, there was a time when they were saying that during this, you know, COVID thing, that they found that the meat processing plants, that up to 50% of the employees were coming down with the symptoms, and they were starting to find out that the animals had the symptoms. Now, follow me now. You know, coronavirus has been around a very long time, and they have been vaccinating the animals with a vaccine for a long time. So actually if you're eating animal flesh, you've been taking the vaccine. Now, vaccine is supposed to be them giving you small particles of a disorganized or disenergized virus. Okay, it's the virus, but it's supposed to be, you know, inert. But you've been eating flesh that has these little inert particles. After a while, they're not microparticles, they're macroparticles, and they come alive.
All right, hold that thought right there. We got to take a short break. I'll let you finish that on the other side. We've already got some folks who want to talk to you and tweet as well. 800-450-7876. So, Dr. B, I'm going to let you finish your thought.
So, you know, this year has been very challenging. You know, 2020 has been all about clarifying who we are. So if you take the 2 plus the 2 and add it together, you're going to get a 4, which is a foundation. Your foundational self is being tested. Who are you? 2020 has been challenging us to redefine and refine ourselves. We've got to learn to detoxify ourselves from what? Pre-existing conditions. They kept saying it. Pre-existing conditions. What's a pre-existing condition? See, some people were thinking that, well, you know, if you're elderly, you got a pre-existing condition, that somebody's programming them to think that because you're older, that's a pre-existing condition like an illness. What is a pre-existing condition? And why are they saying that? Because remember, whoever, whatever is in control of this thing is attempting to program people to think a certain way, feel a certain way, and live a certain way so that they can be what? Controlled. Because people around this particular time were becoming out of control. People were beginning to step into self-control and out of control of those, right, in power that would like to control you like a robot or a slave. You see? Today, most people, most of the time, don't think. Carl, most people don't think. They think, but they're not thinking. You see? They only react based on involuntary habits. And these involuntary habits are programmed in the subconscious through repetition, autosuggestion, the media, social networks. That's not thinking. That's you catching something, allowing something, and think you're thinking. If something is happening, you're reacting. Most times things happen, we just react. That's not thinking. You're not in control. The thought is thinking you. You see? We got to learn how to think again.
Well, let me jump in here and ask you a question, because you're absolutely correct. But why don't we? What's stopping us? We like people to do all the research for us, and because we tell them on this show all the time, don't believe anything you hear, research it, look it up for yourself. But they still don't do it. They still don't want to do it. They want you to bake the cake and serve it to them on a platter. Why?
Laziness. Programmed to be, just to wait to be given something. Like, Pavlov's dog. They ring the bell and you salivate and you eat. It's 5 o'clock, time to eat. 8 o'clock, time to go to work. They have you on a clock. You're living in TikTok. You see, if you're living in TikTok, right, someone's controlling your time, and whoever controls your time controls your mind. If you're spending a certain amount of time in social media watching the feed, you're being fed by what? You think it's facts. We think that what's coming in, that those energies that are coming in, those ideas are real. If you're not thinking, most people are not thinking. They're reacting. See, thinking is something that you're choosing. Okay? So right now, since a lot of people say, well, no, man, I'm thinking, man, I'm deep, I'm conscious, I'm this, I'm intelligent. All right, for 1 second right now, stop thinking. Most folks can't do it because it's automatic. There's machines inside, like a clock, like a wheel, like the cogs on the wheel. It's just going around and around like the merry-go-round. You're being spun on a turntable. Who's the DJ? Who's in charge of the show? Is it truly you, or is it your ideas from the past? Is it your parents? Is it your church? Is it your religion? Is it your political group? Is it your what you call your friend? Who is in control? Who is the chooser? Most people are not thinking. You see?
Right. Hold that thought right there. Hold that thought right there, because these tickets are burning in my pocket. I got to give them away. Caller 10 right now. All right, Dr. B, I'm going to let you continue, and I got a tweet question for you.
The average person has thoughts coming from the past or what they perceive is happening around them. They may not have the ability to pause and consider. See, that's key. To be able to consider the actual facts. That takes a little time. As you said, research. Most people today are not researching, they're searching. What's the difference? Somebody gives you something, you think you found it. Oh, man, that's deep. Oh, that's powerful. Man, that's it. I heard such and such, that's it. And you believe it. You program yourself to believe the first thing that hits your mind. You're not thinking, you're reacting now. Now, researching means to look at that, pause, take a break, a space, even a grace period. Go to bed. Let the stars, this is what they call to consider, means to allow the star energy at night to give you the real information from the cosmos. You may have to sleep on it. They used to tell you, yeah, I need to sleep on that. No, but we feel we need to act quickly. We need to talk right away. Oh, it's a conspiracy. Somebody's doing something. Everybody passes away just about now if they're powerful. It was a conspiracy. The conspiracy is the conspiracy. I don't know if I'm making any sense. The conspiracy is also thinking that everything is a conspiracy, but there's a conspiracy happening between you and your subconscious that you may not be considering because your subconscious is programmed from the past. So if something happens and automatically we react like we reacted over and over from the past. 2020 is saying, hey, look, you better let go of the past because living in the past, living passe, living passive, is a pre-existing condition which weakens your resolve, it weakens your immune system, it weakens you as a person. You see, so you're no longer a person, you're a personality. There's a difference between being a person and a personality. It's the difference between, you know, you on the internet and you've got this whole look and this vibe and you act a certain way. You got your picture when you were looking your best with 9 tons of makeup or Photoshop on, and boom, this is me. That's not you. That's just something you're putting out so you can have your few seconds of fame. So today, I'd like to say, hey, look, let's start thinking. The information that I'm going to give today, Thursday night on our free webinar, and all this week and for the rest of this year is going to be designed to get you out of this daily living with what? The past, and begin to think again. Put your thinking cap on. You see? So, you know, people have been asking me, Carl, they said, well, you know, what happened, Dr. B? You disappeared ever since, like, April. I said, what do you mean I disappeared? Well, we haven't heard any tweets from you. You haven't been online. You haven't been on the radio. Guess why? I needed to take a pause and watch. I needed to watch people. I did a whole research project this year. I needed to watch how this thing was going down. I needed to listen to some of these news programs and listen to the newscasters. You know, they're casting the news. They're casting their hooks. It's like they're fishing. You know what I'm saying? Fishing for men, fishing for people. And people went into a paradigm of fear, a pandemic of fear. They didn't even have the science. Even the newscasters, every news, every information you heard about the quote, the COVID or the corona was different. Every single day. Nothing was for sure. People were, how are you going to cast news, right, as if it's fact, and you don't even know? Like I remember when I was in L.A., and you remember, Carl, they used to have the eyewitness news. Well, the problem was they're there saying that they're the eyewitness news, but they weren't there when the thing happened. You just got a call and said the thing happened. Now you're looking around and acting like you were there. A lot of us act like we're there. That's an illness. That's a pre-existing condition. A pre-existing condition is something in your mind and in your body that was happening before the new idea has arrived. So now let's get into corona. What is a corona? It's a glow. It's a light. It's a field of what? Physical energy emanating from living things. All people have a field of energy emitting from them. It's called the aura. It's a field of electromagnetic energy. It comes from your gut, from your solar plexus. It comes from your nervous system, which are fiber optic cables. That's your crown. That's your field of energy. And you ever notice, like, somebody, when, you know, you say, oh, my God, look at that person. They're glowing. You could tell certain people are glowing with energy. Some people look dry, and they just look like they're zombies and Walking Dead. There's a lot of this going on now, especially since Corona. Folks are just kind of just living, and they're all they heard, round 2 is coming. It's going to be 100 times worse in the fall. How do you know that? If you knew that, how come you couldn't prophesize the thing coming in the first place? And where did it come from? They got 100 different ideas of where it came from. Came from pigs, came from bats, came from goats.
Well, hold that thought right there. We got to take a short break. I'll let you finish your thought on the other side. And congratulations to Juanita. We'll meet Juanita as well, our winner for the 40th anniversary Radio 1 lottery scratches, right? Thanks for staying with us, folks. Our guest is Dr. B. Dr. B is a natural health specialist. He's also a master herbalist. He's also a metaphysician. We're going to get some deep stuff going here before we leave with Dr. B today. Let's say shout out to Renita. Renita Jordan? Is Renita there?
Can you hear me?
Hi. Yeah, we can hear. Hi, Renita. Congratulations.
Thank you so very much.
What city are you calling for us from?
I'm calling from Temple Hills, Maryland.
Temple Hills, Maryland. Now, well, congratulations, because you've won the Radio 1 40th Anniversary DC Lottery Scratcher, the Radio 1 40th Anniversary Scratcher, with over $800,000 in total cash prizes, 2 top prizes of $40,000, plus second chance contest also featuring prizes as well, all exclusively from 1450. WOL and the DC Lottery. Just want to remind folks that lots of people win. So congratulations once again to Renita.
Yay. Yay. All right now.
Thank you. And thank you for listening to WOL Radio.
Have a great day.
You too. I'm sure you will. Let's go back to Dr. B. And Dr. B, before we start, let me just say this. 1963, 57 years ago, we've got to say this, mention these 4 young girls who were killed and they bombed that church in Birmingham. And got to say their names: Denise McNair, Carol Robertson, Cynthia Wesley, Addie Mae Collins. they were youngsters, and we heard about this Sunday when they were in school, going to Sunday school, and their church was bombed. So we just want to say their names because now they're our ancestors, and so we keep them alive. But anyway, let's go back to Dr. B. Dr. B, I got a tweet question for you when you finish this.
Okay, I've got to tap in on this winner. I want to say congratulations to all the winners out there. If you are winning right now by breathing, listening to this program, or on the planet, you're a winner. You know, in my class, I have a class I teach, and it's, the total life transformation course. And we teach you how to become a winner in the course. If you don't wake up and choose and authorize yourself, give yourself the authority to win, you will lose that day. You lose every day when you are not thinking and focusing on winning. And some people, they don't even know when they got to win. They don't know when they got something good. You know why? Because they're thinking about what they want versus what they truly need.
All right, hang on a sec. Help us out here. So you're saying we should get up every morning with these positive thoughts. Tell us how.
It's not even positive, because positive means stuck. I'm not saying to be positive. I'm saying be creative. Each day, there is something that you do. Like in my class, we talk about how before you get out of the bed, Carl, you draw an imaginary circle on the ground. Before, on your rug or your floor, where you're going to step, where your little house shoes are at. Don't step into them yet, right? You draw an imaginary circle 3 times with your finger in your mind, and you could call it the winner's circle, and you step into it. Before you do anything else, Carl, before you go to the bathroom and jump up with that, I got to go, you better do this, because you just told your subconscious every day that you're a winner. And guess what? When you get it programmed in you that you're a winner, you will begin to attract winning situations, winning scenarios. You'll meet other people that are winners, because guess what? In life, to succeed, you need to be on the road with people that are moving the same direction as you, or hang out with people that are already at the place that you attempt to go to. You want to be, if you desire to be a winner, you have to create that in your mindset with the first step of the day. The first step is the most important. That's knowledge. I've got the knowledge, right? That first step, number 1, is knowledge that I am a winner. All of us are winners. We have to think about who's losing, we're looking at the stars and who got a hit record, who got the number 1 this, and then you're sitting around, eating on a bag of chips, hoping that things could be better for you. You had better become in 2020. 2020 is challenging you to create a new life. Otherwise, it's a pre-existing condition. Being a loser, speaking the language of disempowerment, talking about what's bad, always in other people's business. Think about this, Carl. You think about how nosy we are, and we're not only nosy, we're newsy. I remember there used to be a song back in the day called Newsy Neighbors or something. That means that not only are you nosy in other people's business, right? You got to tell other people's business. You're newsy. This creates a pre-existing condition and weakens your resolve and weakens your immune system, because you're not being reflective. You're not looking at you. You're not being a winner. You're being a loser, and you're leaking. We get upset so quickly. We're so triggered, Carl, by some stuff outside of us. We get upset about something else that somebody else that we think is supposed to be upset about something is not upset. Girl, you should be upset about that. Man, you should be pissed. First of all, your subconscious can't perceive that that's somebody else that you're talking about, and it causes you, right? It causes you to be weakened. It causes your immune system to be weakened, because if you're talking about strengthening the immune system for fall, you're going to have to rise your thinking. You're going to have to step everything up. This winter, this fall, a lot of people are going to choose to not be here anymore by their choices. If you have that same Thanksgiving meal, that same Christmas drink, you live that same thing the way you lived last year, right? Just know that you're choosing to succumb to corona, because your auric field, the vibration coming from you, your golden aura, will not glow. Which means that the virus of the mind, right, which is COVID-19, let me break this down real quick. COVID-19 has become a virus of the mind, right, generating vast amounts of fear and stress. It's an idea. That's why they don't call it, he didn't die from corona. He died from COVID-19. See, they could say that about everything. We could point to, anything. Bird dropped out the sky. That's because of, corona-19 or COVID-19. It's an idea. It's not a disease. It's an idea based on pre-existing ways of living, pre-existing thoughts, pre-existing conditions. And we have conditioned ourselves to think that we're victims and we're broken. And we're conditioning ourselves to relive slavery and all of this Jim Crow. We relive it. I am saying that for one season, you're going to have to be the one that decides or chooses what spices you're going to put on your life. What seasonings are you going to put on what you're about to, intake? Because they're coming at you. They kept telling you, round two. This is like a fight. I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? It's deep. But what we've got to do is realize that fear turns down our light. It weakens our immune system. It weakens our rational thinking. It weakens the immune system. So right now, Carl, what we're talking about is not necessarily what you need to eat or what you need to take. It's how you need to think first. Because thoughts, become words. Words become actions. Actions harden into habits. Habits become your character. A lot of people already feel that they're too weak. They're going to need I'm going to need a shot. I'm going to need a shot. I'm going to have to take that shot. Folks are going to be in line to take that shot. And you know what? They don't even know if the shot's going to work. They're testing it on people right now. People are volunteering to take a substance that's inorganic to put in their organic bodies to do what they themselves could do if they begin to think righteously, live righteously, eat righteously. You got to stop eating some trash. If you're eating trash, if you've got parasites, if you've got fungus, if you're hooked on sugar and all the rest of the things we're hooked on, guess what? Your immune system is already compromised. So now if something's in the air and you breathe it, you're probably going to catch it because you've got a glove out just like a ball player to catch that ball. So a lot of people are catching the idea. You already got viruses in your body. They've already said that almost everybody's got coronavirus in their body. If you ate any chicken and beef or turkey or any of them animals, you probably got it. You've eaten it. Now, it's not online yet, right? It has to come online based on a couple other criteria, and that's the environment that you've created inside you. You see what I'm saying? So habitual speaking in the language of struggle, it weakens you because that's not real. That's not strong. That's not powerful. Living in a world of perpetual fear, anger, worry, despair, grief, loss, and living in victimhood, people automatically begin to speak and they start talking about how bad it is. Do you know that this is called schizophrenia? Do you know the definition of schizophrenia? I've got it right here. It says a long-term mental disorder of a type involving a breakdown in the relation between thought, emotion, and behavior, leading to faulty perception, inappropriate actions and feelings, withdrawal from reality, and personal relationships into fantasy and delusion, and a sense of mental fragmentation. Now, that right there is 90% of the people. 90% of the people are schizophrenic. They've got inappropriate actions and feelings. They're withdrawn from reality because they live based on reality shows. Their life is a reality show. They live in delusion and fantasy and a sense of mental, fragmentation. A lot of people can't control themselves. They just snap. They get triggered and they go off and they lose it based on something they heard that they didn't even actually witness sometimes. They just heard about something. So that destroys your immune response. You must have, at this particular time, strong goals, strong will, courage. You must be well balanced. You must have a balanced immune system. You must be able to create a peace of mind in just 7 seconds every day. If you can't sit quietly and breathe and create a peace of mind, you got your glove out. You're going to catch it because it's coming for you because it's a virus of the mind. And the thing that's going to strengthen you is you becoming your original self. 2020 is saying, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Right? Because a lot of people are not going to be here. A lot of people are not going to exist because the world is changing.
Right. Hold that thought right there. And I'll come back. Also, Denard's got a tweet question for you, and I'll let you finish telling us about the 2020, how we should prepare for 2020. Not for the coronavirus, or COVID-19 as they call it, for the rest of this 2020. Folks, you want to join this discussion with Dr. B, reach out to us, 800-450-7080. And thanks for rolling with us, folks. Our guest is Dr. B. As I mentioned, Dr. B is a natural health specialist. He's also a master herbalist, and he's also a metaphysician. You got a question for Dr. B? If it's a health question, you don't want people to know your business, use a different name. Or you can tweet the question and reach out to us, 800-450-7876. Before we get back to Dr. B, I'm going to tell you that coming up in the next few days, you're going to hear from psychiatrist Dr. Patricia Newton's going to be here, one of our power talkers, also a blogger, Brandon. We're going to talk politics with Brandon as well. So if you're in the DMV, keep your radio locked right here on 1450 WOL. And Dr. B, a question for you. The tweeter says, I have a question for Dr. B. Can you ask him if he can discuss any information regarding sea moss, please? If it is good for us, bad for us, and anything we should be aware of.
Well, sea moss originally was known as Irish moss, is what the people in Ireland used to survive when the potato famine hit, because potatoes got a fungus called ergot, which killed a lot of people. They couldn't eat, and the only thing that they could consume was this Irish moss, which is like a seaweed that grows on rocks and has most of the minerals that are present in the ocean. And those minerals are the things that the body really needs. And then there's a sea moss, there's Irish moss, which is more or less from Ireland to Europe. Then there's sea moss, which some people in the Caribbean will call it, which is like the same thing, but it grows in the Caribbean. So the mineral content is a little bit different, but they're very much related. It's about the minerals that's in it. The thing is that because suddenly it's become super commercial, they've just about raped the ocean. So they're growing it in farms. They got sea moss farms now. You know what I'm saying? They're putting stuff in it. I mean, they're playing with it to get it to grow fast because, you've got this need for it, so they've got to make it as fast as possible. And it is a good product. If you're needing minerals, which you are to be healthy, you need all the minerals. There's like 90 minerals in it, and I think your body basically eats about 104. So a lot of them are in it. It's a good thing if it's natural, if it's organic. If it's been. And then
let me jump in here for a second, Dr. B, because I've seen it on the shelves. I've seen it in cans. I've seen it in plastic bottles. Is that appropriate? Is that the kind of sea moss? And that's one question. And two, if you start drinking the sea moss or Irish moss, whichever one, when will you see a difference? When will you notice a difference?
It all depends on you. It depends on how mineral deficient your body is. Most people are pretty mineral deficient, and some people are getting the same effect from Celtic sea salt. Celtic sea salt has those same minerals in it. Some people can't stomach the Irish moss. You know what I'm saying? Now, it being in a can, I mean, think about it. That's lead. Huh? You think it's aluminum. If it's in a jar, you see it's been sitting. If light is hitting it, I need you to say this again. If light is hitting it and you've turned it into that gel and it's in the jar, the light degrades it very quickly, just like it does with olive oil. Same thing. It's got to be in something dark. Now, a lot of them that I've seen, people are using regular mason jars, and it's like a good little hustle. I mean, it's good. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying maybe we should find a way to darken the jar or wrap it up, put it in a box, you see? So, putting it in the container and also letting it sit, it changes. If you make it fresh, then it's very high vibrational food, you see? So it's good, but I'm also seeing a long list of cures that Irish moss is supposed to do. We get into this thing, these panaceas, and it's just not factual. But it does have a good foundation for the minerals that each of us needs, because you need minerals to make vitamins. You need minerals to make energy. But there's other places to get those minerals also. So if you're getting good, organic, reliably sourced, Irish moss, then it could be a good thing. But I wouldn't have it in a can or some other container that could cause it to degrade.
Well, and that's the question with some of the health tips that you have. where do we get them? Two, why they're so expensive, and how do we know that they work? Because you mentioned it depends, because it's not like it's not like a chemical. When you go, the guy in the white robe and he gives you and he says take 2 every day or take 3, and then in a week you'll see, or a few days you'll see a difference. A lot of the stuff, the natural stuff, you don't know how much to take, and like you said, we don't know when it's going to start to work. So when people come to you with these questions, what do you say?
I say, first of all, you're going to need some time, because this is nutrition. Your body is going to take what it needs and do the work itself. Now, if you take some morphine, of course, it shuts off everything. You don't feel anything. So it works, right? But with natural medicines, it takes time for them to rebuild, and some of them are just supporting the body's healing mechanism. Some of them are just opening up the channels of elimination, which are blocked in most people. Most people have blocked channels of elimination mentally, physically, and spiritually. I'm going to say that again. Most people have blocked channels of elimination physically, mentally, and spiritually. It's hard to let go. It's hard to let go of certain ideas. It's hard to let go of that chicken that you ate that, was dead and had maggots and all kinds of stuff in it anyway. It's hard to let it go. It's hard to let go of some of these foods that we grew up on that, we ate in the name of love that mama gave us. It's hard sometimes. It's challenging. Now, if you have a new goal in your mind and you would like to change because you'd like to be here and do something, because we are living in the new golden age, which is why they call the thing Corona, because we've just stepped into the golden age when it's time for you to have your own focus, your own goal that you set forth, and live as if the goal has already come. If you're eating a certain way, right, it's going to keep you from the goal because you're not living in the gold. You're not finding the treasure map. You're not hearing the messages that are supposed to come to you because the chicken is talking. The pig is talking. You see, the goat is talking. The food actually gives the information. And if that information is the information of a dead, dying, bloodied animal, bludgeoned to death or fried, or like they do with the pigs, they put kerosene on them and to burn the hair off and let them run around to bring up the energy that makes the food soft. You see what I'm saying? It's really weird what they do. You see? So if you're eating that, it weakens your system. You're going to be weak, and people have issues letting go of those foods. If you're taking these herbs, they're not just going to happen overnight. If you're taking minerals, if you're eating correctly, it's a time thing. It took time for you to get to where you are. So some people will take some products. Like I've got some products people take, and they say, oh, my God, I felt good in 24 hours. I felt my whole life changed taking the first dose. Some people, it takes time. But I guarantee most people, after, 3 months of doing something, their whole life changes. Their whole life changes. So a 1% change, right, creates what? Course correction. See, the pilot said, 90% of my journey when I'm flying the plane is I'm in course correction. I'm attempting to keep the plane on course. Wow. He says only 10% of the time am I actually moving directly towards what? The destination. Think about your life. 90% of the time you have to be in course correction. You've got to correct what you're eating. You got to correct what you're not eating. You've got to learn what to say yes to again. You've got to learn to walk away from certain situations and not react. You've got to learn to let go. One of the pre-existing conditions that we have, is us thinking that everything is supposed to happen quickly like a microwave oven. And that's part of the young, the millennials, and they want it to happen quick. It's an app. I just want to hit a button on an app, and boom, I just want to, be online in a second. Boom, post my profile in a second. Folks, a lot of times don't think they have time, so they don't. If you don't have time, right, because you're telling yourself you don't have time, then that disagreeable you controls your time. Whatever controls your time controls your mind. You're going to need to have patience, be clear, have courage, and have faith. Feel as if the thing has already happened. And another thing, folks ask me a lot of times, they say, well, Dr. B, I got your product, blah, blah, blah. Does it work? I tell them no. They say, what do you mean it don't work? Because you already have doubt. If you have doubt that something is going to work, then you can't meet it. You see, you've got to meet it 50-50. It does have the power to work, but you've got to work it. You've got to have faith. When you take some vitamin C, you better know And people have a thing where they take vitamin C. It's already programmed into them that it's going to work. Why? Because of grandma and great-grandma. It's been around so long. So your mind already says vitamin C works. But if I mention to you olive leaf extract for your immune system, you're going to be like, I don't know. Does that really work? Because you don't have any basis for it. You don't have any, it's not in your library yet, you see, in your mind. So you've got to be ready for your gift. You've got to be ready because we keep asking for gifts and we keep asking for God or the angels or the ancestors to give us something. But a lot of times we're not even ready or in the position to receive what we say we desire because we need it quick. Yes, herbs, vitamins, minerals, natural medicine has worked for millions of years. And the doctor told me, well, Dr. B, there's no human trials on that product that you have. I said, what do you mean there's no human trial? There's no human trials on herbs. Well, what are you talking about? Humans been using this since forever. What are you talking about, a human trial? What they're saying is we haven't figured out how to make money yet. And I want you to think about this. Just put this in your mind. We've been dealing with this COVID idea for 6, 7, 8, 9 months, whatever it is, almost a year. Think about it. Have they ever said on the news anything natural? Have they mentioned one thing natural? No. They're looking for something that can be sold to you, something that has side effects and B-side effects. You see, something that can be controlled financially. So Madagascar tried to tell you that they had a natural product. A lot of the Asian countries said the same thing. They wanted to give it to the world. What did the world say? No. It's got to come out of a laboratory. It's got to come from the white coats, as you call them, Carl, the white robes. It's got to be done under their ritual. They're in charge. Hold on for a minute. The herb, one of them that they're using in Madagascar, is an herb that makes quinine. Quinine. Quinine is what they've been using for a long time for malaria and a whole bunch of other things. 3 of the herbs that they're talking about that they use for COVID, I have had in my products for 20 years. 20 years we've had those herbs that actually have been proven to have enough electrical potential, quinine, and the other things that can turn a virus off. You can't kill it, but you can shut it down. You can disorganize it. We have that. But I can't go out and just tell people, oh, my God, we got this, because you got to be careful because the white coats are coming. The white coats are coming because it's about control. They want to control what? The paradigm. They want to control your mind. You see, living in fear will get you to agree to anything. You'll give up all your rights based on fear. So I'm saying that fear is going to make you inferior, and you're going to have an inferiority complex, which is a pre-existing condition. You've got to turn up your light, turn up your love light. Didn't they say coronavirus was a microparasite? They said it mutates based on what? You. It's based on the environment. It mutates based on your immune system. You're being able to carefully choose your thoughts, your activities, your words, your actions, and your habits. If you believe you're going to catch it. You see, if you believe that it can only jump 6 feet, it can only jump 6 feet. What do they measure it? They had one jump in the lab, and they measured it. So, well, you can only jump 6, can't go past 6 feet. I mean, all those ideas are good. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it. I'm not saying you shouldn't wear a mask. I'm saying you should not be masquerading your own true, divinity. You've got to live the high life now. You've got to be in course correction mode. You've got to detoxify this may be the last chance you get to detoxify your body. Because if you've already got parasites, if you've already got fungus, if you've already got toxicity, right, in your body, if you don't get rid of it, you're what? That's a pre-existing condition. It's easy for you to catch anything in flu season. That's why people get sick, because they don't detoxify to the root. And I'm not talking about using 1 or 2 herbs and cleaning your colon, because a lot of folks say, I clean my colon. That's not enough. You got to clean your entire system out. You got to detoxify your system using a systemic cleanse. You got to get rid of parasites.
All right, that's all right there. We got to take a short break. We're closing on the top of the hour, so some of our stations need to identify themselves down the line. Thank you for staying with us, folks. Our guest is Dr. B. Dr. B is a metaphysician. He's a natural health specialist. He's also a master herbalist. Number to call if you'd like to speak to him, 800-450-7876. I want to congratulate Teresa Young from Upper Marlboro and also Renita Jordan, who called us from, I think she was in Temple Hills, also in Maryland, winning Radio 1 40th Anniversary DC Lottery Scratchers. We've got more of those tickets to give away. So keep listening right here on 1450 WOL. Dr. B, we're coming up now. They're talking about these vaccines for the coronavirus, the COVID-19. Is there an alternative? Because they're trying to, from what I understand, they're trying to make it a way that it's compulsory. They're going to make it that you have to take that shot. Right now, they're experimenting and they're trying to get, especially they're saying they're not getting enough black folks to be part of the experimental program. They're going to HBCUs and trying to line up some of our students. I'm just wondering, is there an alternative do you know of that we should be doing so we won't be caught up in this dilemma?
First of all, we've been part of an experimental program for at least 400 years. I mean, a lot of folks already kind of know. Another experimental program? You know, they've been shooting folks up for a long time. Now, if you choose that, and if you feel that's going to work, do what you must. If you need to follow your doctor's orders because that's what you're being told, then you do it. I also don't believe or feel it or have not read energetically that they're going to force people to take it. You know why? There's a whole lot of smart people that are going to say otherwise. They got something else they're doing. You see what I'm saying? A lot of folks don't trust it. I'm not saying what you should do. I'm saying, yes, there's alternatives, and there's always been alternatives. They're in nature. They're in nature. We have located and found these particular elements in these herbs and these minerals for millions of years. Yes, there are alternatives to everything. How do we live for millions of years? How do we do it? What we were just sickly? You know, people are sicker, especially black folks, are more ill now than they have ever been. We're now more into modern medicine than we have ever been. Think about that for a second. When we were not, when grandma had us eating right and taking herbs and she was picking stuff and rubbing stuff on us and giving us weird stuff to take at each season, guess what? People were healthier because they couldn't afford to have a health care plan that didn't care about you. You see? That you had no choice. So you had to have courage. You had to have resolve. You had to have a goal in mind. You had to wake up each day and step into a winner's circle. Otherwise, you would lose. We have the power, and we're going to have to turn it down now, or turn it on now, or guess what? A whole lot of folks are going to be extinct. People are going to be extinct. They're going to be off the planet because they're following the cattle herder. The cattle herder has got you going what? For the slaughter of your mind. You see? I mean, they close the churches down. Carl. They close the churches. So in other words, I don't care how much faith you got, you better not go to church. Because even God could not control the coronavirus. I am saying that may not necessarily be true. I'm saying that there's an answer in nature, in divinity, in what you may call God or the universal field or whatever you want to call it, the quantum divine world. There are answers, but we have to follow the law. We're lawbreakers. We allow ourselves to break law, and we allow our laws to be broken on us. We allow our spirit to be broken. So for the last months, what have I been doing? I've been watching people. I've been studying people. I've been listening to everything. I've been in deep meditation. I have redesigned almost all of my main products. I had to shift them because the environment shifted. I had to reinvent myself because I saw what was happening. I saw the looks in people's eyes. And by the way, you know, the mask, you know, it's a funny thing that people are now looking. You can see people smiling in their eyes and people are becoming a little more telepathic. This mask thing might work out at the end of the day. That's if we get enough oxygen to make it. But you know what I'm saying? A lot of things that are tempted to be done against us, it's about testing us. It's like we're on an obstacle course. And we keep wanting to blame everybody outside of ourselves. But when I look at you, I say, well, what about you? What is your part in this? How do you feel each day? Are you able to control your emotions? What are you about to eat? Are you about to eat something that eats you? Or are you going to eat something that your body can actually digest? Because most people can't even digest because they've got so much plaque, so much calcium. They've got so much anger, so much fear, and so much hunger and distortion in them. that has got to be detoxified. And the detoxification program has to last at least 28 days because that's a moon cycle or a month or what they call a circadian rhythm. Everything in nature lives based on these circadian rhythms, which is why I created a program, a systemic cleansing detoxification program that deals with systemic parasites, Carl. What's the difference? Systemic parasites are the ones that live throughout your body. Your average parasite lives in the colon. They're not hard to get rid of. There's 3 or 4 ingredients you can use to get rid of them. But the systemic ones, the ones that live in your liver, your kidneys, your spleen, the ones that live in your eyes, that's those little floater things floating by your eyes. And just look at this, Carl. The other day, somebody was mentioning the symptoms of COVID. And I happen to pull up the symptoms that I have researched of parasites. And I want you to listen to this. And I read them side by side, and they're almost exactly the same. Symptoms of parasite: respiratory distress, loss of taste or smell, numbness of extremities, weakened immune system, perpetual fear syndrome, low energy, depression, anger, negative thinking, cancer, heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, menstrual problems, vaginal infection, sexual dysfunction, over or underweight, drooling while sleeping, itchy ears, nose, anus, and body, grinding of the teeth at night, gas and bloating, chronic fatigue syndrome, pain in the joint, allergies, flu-like symptoms, insomnia, food and drug cravings, rash, pimples, things floating by the eyes, epilepsy, liver problems, loss of appetite, always feeling hungry, always feeling sad, unclear vision, That's just a short list.
Yeah.
A whole lot of these are on the list with what they call COVID because it's parasitic. And people have built up so many parasites. We've fed so many parasites over the many, many years that now we're being pushed to change. So let's say that COVID, my heart goes out to those who've made their transition in the last year. The thing is that you're still here. If you're still here, I would do everything that I possibly could at this time. If you've never done it before, because one thing we noticed, Carl, in 2020, more people became vegan, more people became vegetarians, more people started purchasing herbal products. There was a point where we could just barely handle the calls and the orders the way they were coming in because people were scared. See, fear is a great motivator for some folks. I'm saying let courage be your motivator. This week, next week, we're going into fall. Don't fall. Don't slip. Don't slip this time because you may not be around in spring to spring back. Because whatever is being done to us, whether it's aliens, whether it's the Wu-Tang bat, whether it's, I don't know, whatever political group or whether it's the universe, something is happening. And we're being forced to change. We're being forced to enhance ourselves. And the thing that you're going to have to do is get your mind right. And you're not going to have many chances to keep doing that because we have been in a grace period for at least 75 to 80 years. We've done a lot of stuff to ourselves. It could be 5G, okay? 5G is going to take us out. 3G is supposed to take us out. 4G. What about 5D? 4D, getting yourself to go to another dimension where you can rise above, where we can begin to float again. We have that power. Don't you let anybody tell you that we don't have the power to change things. Don't say that, God is upset with us. No. You are upset with yourself by choosing to be upset based on you not doing what you need to do to release the past and begin to think again and not just live a habitual life. Wake up. Get rid of the mental, physical, and spiritual parasites now.
All right. Hold that thought right there. We got a bunch of folks want to talk to you. Got some tweet questions for you as well. 800-450-7876. Connie's in Maryland on line 1. Connie, you're on with Dr. B.
Yes. Hi, I'm here. Dr. B, I just started a brand new job and 4 weeks ago. And the other morning, I couldn't even walk. My knees were so swollen and they were hurting so bad. So it happened that day I was off. So I know you talk about the parasites, but just expound a little bit more on maybe something that I can do is I got to keep rolling. I just got the position. And the other thing is, just, we want all your information out. And the final thing I want to say is that we are such great people. I look at my refrigerator. I know Parks, he designed that and discovered that. Can't we discover something to confound these people that's working against us like this? I mean, we could just put it in the air or something. We're great. And I'm just going to hang up. And I just want to say hi. Hi, Carl. I'm glad we got rid of those birds of different wings. I had the frying pan ready. So God bless. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Connie. All right, go ahead. We got a break coming up, but go ahead. I'll let you start your response for Connie.
Most people who are having issues with their joints right about now are being challenged to change the way they live, change their habit, their stuff.
Hold it right there. All right there. I'll let you get into that on the other side. The drummers are hitting those skins. And thanks for staying with us, folks. Our guest is Dr. B. Dr. B's a national health specialist, also a metaphysician and a master herbalist. You got a question for him? If it's about health, you use a different name if you want. If you don't want people to know your business, but take advantage of his expertise. It's free right now on the radio. 800-450-7876. Before we left, we were speaking with Connie in Maryland, and she has a problem with I guess, her joints and knees.
Yes. And Connie is just like a lot of other people. She mentioned the issue, the symptom. Then she mentioned the source right in her conversation because she went to her knees, the new job, right? Then she went into what other people are doing to us. There's your disease. We're so focused on what's being done to us that we cannot work internally, right, to heal ourselves and be more flexible and have more love for ourselves. It's a very deep syndrome, and I know we've been raised to think this way about what they're doing to us. I'm not saying we shouldn't be on post, but sometimes we have already acted and reacted as if the thing that we're saying we don't want is happening. So your subconscious doesn't know you're talking about somebody else or you're talking about another time. It's what? We're in fight or flight. She's in fight or flight. She is looking for the problem outside of herself. Walking will help. Cleansing, detoxification will help. But also finding a peace of mind, some stretching, and get out of our heads what they're doing to us. You see, think about the deer. Think about the deer. Are they sitting around worried about the wolves all day? Any animal, right? Are they sitting around thinking about what happened and what's chasing them all day? No, they're living the best life they can right now. This is not to say that things are happening out there, sometimes out of our control, right? But you got to wait until it shows up for you. What can you do right now for yourself? You got a new job. Then get a new mind and a new way of walking and wake up and draw that circle on the ground and say, my knees are healing. Get yourself a cleanse. Detoxify your body. Drink a lot of water and stop eating foods that are eating you.
All right, 800-450-7876. Thank you, Connie. Let's go to line 3. Jimmy's in Houston. Jimmy, you're on with Dr. B.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? How you doing, Dr. B?
Phenomenal.
Oh, right. I heard you talking about time, and I was just reading in the book. I was talking about time. When you break down the word time, T-I-M-E is tie me, is to restrict. Because time is like an illusion. So my question going to ask you: Can you talk about time, the illusion, time travel and transport and all that? But if you spell the word time backwards, you spell emit, which means to emit, the release. So we are nothing but a transmitter and receiver as human beings. And when you talk about the mind, it's all based on how we pursue perception. And so if you can talk about, everything starts from the mind. You talk about time travel and the illusion of time and linear time, and basically linear time, because how we've been taught linear time, that's what's trying to get us caught up too, because we've been taught linear time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But if you can kind of talk about that and talk into different systems other than linear time, because if you go to another country, they'll start eating a pizza from the backside versus the hip. And that kind of keep us in a matrix, the matrix within the matrix. Thank you,
All right.
Dr. B.
All right. Thanks, Jimmy.
All
Dr. B.
Well, either you've been studying deep or you've been listening to Dr. B for a long time, because me being a musician most of my life, I have a very good understanding of time and the no time. And yes, when you take time and turn it backwards, it's about emitting. It's about what you do. So it's not about how much time you have. It's what you're doing with your time, how you're putting, what is your output? What is your focus? Do you have a clear-cut goal for what you would like to create, which is more gold? But if you are caught up in TikTok, right, every second being measured, even in music, you know, they have this thing called the metronome, tick, 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 and they want you to stay in time, right? Well, see, with jazz and certain types of, you know, original African music, there is no time. It's totally improvisational, the natural way, the flow of the sun. The sun is not in TikTok. The moon is not. The earth is not. Nothing in nature is in restricted time. So restriction causes constriction. And now if your heart was beating like that, tick, tick, boom, 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 you wouldn't live, because your heart has to be variable. They call it heart rate variability. When you start thinking and talking in a disagreeable way, when you eat food, when you look at food, Carl, check this out. When you are about to purchase food in the store and you look at it, your subconscious mind, your inner self, your mitochondria know if that's good for you or not. Did you know your heart rate goes up when you're about to choose something that's not for you? You get a gut feeling, but a lot of us override the gut feeling. Oh, no, that's just my hunger pangs. I'm hungry. I can't wait to get home and roast and broast this. You see? But then we want to know, why are we sick? Because the chickens, the cows, and pigs are eating us. Let's go back for a minute. Let's go all the way back. The sister talked about what other people are doing to us, right? I'm going to blend these two calls together. She mentioned the things they're doing to us. How many people come on your show, Carl, and talk about what the chickens are doing to us? What the pigs are doing to us? The ghost of the cow is doing to us? Huh? How many people mention that? You always mention what the people are doing because you feel like you can't control that, right? But you can control what's going in your mouth. You can control what you're eating. I'm not telling you not to eat meat. If it's serving you and you're serving it and you're a servant of that thing, eat it. I am saying that you at least need to detoxify your body, because the stiffness in your timing and your habits is causing your heart to become stiff, because you freeze up each time you do something, right, when you're not supposed to be doing it. Your muscles tense up. Well, every time you eat something, whether you like it or not, if it's good for you, right, your body relaxes, and your heart, it's variable. Your heart's got to speed up and slow down based on the environment. So music and everything today is on a clock. They've got this thing called quantize. Everybody can buy a computer and get a thing called a sampler and a little, a DAW, a digital, a box that, or a program that keeps the music in time and make everybody sound like they can play music or make music. But then there's people who are naturally talented, can get on an instrument and actually play. You see, it's more soothing, but everything is on a clock. Commercials are on a clock. When you should eat. McDonald's got the same clock. They're going to have a commercial every single day. There's not, you can't blame them. This is what they do, and you're choosing it. Get off the clock and get out of TikTok. Learn to eat when you're hungry, when you're truly hungry. And sometimes hunger is your body eating up some of the toxicity. Sometimes you need to drink more water instead of just eating. You see? Now, there is a 24,000-year calendar, the great clock, the great year, the sidereal day, which is more of a variable rate that actually keeps us in time with the cosmos. The year 2020, it was told to me by a lot of my teachers, including Dick Gregory. They said 2019 and 2020 was going to challenge everybody because they were going to have to get off the clock. Now, this is interesting. They tell everybody to go home. Go home. They said get off the clock. They paid folks to go home. Guess what happened? People started thinking. They were off the clock. They got creative. People opened up new businesses. People got ideas. People got out of stress. People were able to lay in the bathtub for 4, 5, and 6 hours and meditate. Folks started exercising. A lot of folks became very creative in 2020 while the news talked about how everybody's dying and kept giving you these numbers every day. And who was creating the numbers? Who was, it's funny. There was no heart disease, no high blood pressure deaths and diabetes. It was mostly all this COVID. Oh, well, don't look at that because, you're in TikTok. Get out of time. Get your rhythm right. Get back into the natural flow. This is the best time to do it. 2020 is the time for you to get your foundation together. This is the best time. You see, and I'm doing a free webinar this Thursday, and I'm going to be talking about a lot of these concepts. So if you can, be there. And there's also a replay. If you can't be there, there's a replay. But the live is always different than the replay. Remember that. So this Thursday from 7 until, I'll be dropping a lot of information that has come through at this particular time or this particular space. But there is no time, truly. Time is what you make it.
Interesting. 800-450-7876. Sharon joins us next. She's on line one. She's calling from Maryland. Sharon, you're on with Dr. B.
Hey, how you doing?
Phenomenal.
Yes. Could you go back to the circle? I missed out on that. And what's good for the memory?
Memory, you need to forget it all. Only know what's in front of you right now. I'm joking. But, that's deep because sometimes it's circulation and sometimes it's trauma happening in your head. But let's talk about right now. What you can do right now, which will help you remember who you are now at this moment, which is more important, is before you get out of the bed in the morning, before you put your feet on the ground and take your first step, you draw an imaginary circle on the ground with your finger, just with your mind. Just draw a circle. And put in it the word that you would like to achieve. It could be winner. It could be health. It could be balance. It could be wealth. It could be love. Whatever it is. Pick one, and let's do this for 28 days. Draw a circle, and then step into it. The first step you take is an imaginary circle that your subconscious thinks is real. And it begins to give you a new ID, a new idea, a new ideal, of who you are each day, because now that becomes your identifying step. Your first step is your identifying step. And most people, when they wake up in the morning, they're in disarray. They're upset. They're groggy, and it's a lot going on. So take your first step and step into greatness. Step into a winner's circle. And then what you eat is the next thing that's going to what? Feed that idea. You got to eat pure
Hold
food.
that thought right there. We'll make the link on the other side. Thanks, Sharon. Thanks for your call. Folks, you too can join this conversation with Dr. B. Reach out to us. And thanks for staying with us, folks. Our guest is Dr. B. Dr. B is a master herbalist. He's also a natural health specialist and a metaphysician as well. You got a question, especially a health question, you can ask Dr. B. Just reach out to us at 800-450-7876. So, Dr. B, I'm going to let you finish the response to the last question. And we got some more folks who want to talk to you and got some tweets for you as well.
So when you change your habits, it changes everything. And you could start with just one. And one is, like I said, that circle. Step into greatness each day, no matter what's happening around you. It could be storms. You could turn on the news and the world came to an end. But guess what? You still woke up, so your world didn't come to an end. So get focused on who you would like to be. That's having a strong goal, a strong resolve, moving towards a destination. Now, I'm teaching this in a class online at our website, elevationtime.com. That's elevationtime.com. We have a class. It's called the Life Transformation System 1 Masterclass. Life Transformation System 1 Masterclass. It's 9 hours of information that will help you change your entire life. Guaranteed, if you do what we're saying to do in that class, everything will change. Everything. Your love life, your health, your financial life, everything will change because I'm giving you the secret information, the sacred information that was not taught to you or you forgot, right? That is going to cause you to do a pattern interrupt in many areas of your life, get you off the clock, get you back into your true self. So that's on our website at elevationtime.com. And also on, Thursday, we're doing a free webinar. You can also go to elevationtime.com. And don't forget, get on our email list. Get on our website and go to the email list. And by the way, Carl, we got a brand new website, brand new. With so many things we changed and rebuilt during this off time during 2020. So let's rebuild our lives. Let's stay focused and let's rebuild our entire vibrational selves.
All right, and we'll definitely give that information before you leave us today. But I got a tweet question for a tweeter says, please ask Dr. B, is there a natural cure for pneumonia, shortness of breath as well?
Well, that is a type of a parasite or parasite condition also. So there's no cures for anything. There is healing. We have things that can support your body to help heal itself. And yes, there are a lot of things that we could do. You know, go to elevationtime.com or get on my webinar. We have a program called the Elevated Total Body Program, which is something that is our, you know, that's our number one, our premier, you know, cleansing and detoxification program, because a lot of things like that are simply the body needing to detoxify from systemic parasites. So that would be something that I might try. And there's another new product that we have called X Factor. Well, it's not new, but we just put it on the site. It's a very, very powerful antiviral. It's a natural antiviral, one of the most powerful, and it is now on our website. So there's a lot of things that we can do, but some things you're going to have to call me, you know, and let's talk a little bit over the phone so I can hear, because even that, there may be pre-existing conditions already that you have or a history that we may need to address before we can just say, take this, take that. Because there's no natural cures. There's always, you know, programs that must be created because each person is different. No one is the same. Diversity is powerful. We're all separate. So you can give us a call at 323-931-1212. 323-931-1212, and we can discuss your unique situation.
All right, and we'll give that number again before you leave. But let's go to line 3. Anais is calling, I think, in Delaware. Anais, on line 3, you're on with Dr. B.
Hi, yes, Dr. B.
Good day.
All right, so I just want to, I really don't really have any questions. I just want to share my experience, that I experienced yesterday, and it has to do with the atmosphere of the earth. So, essentially, I was outside, right? And I was on my way to the store, and I looked up, and there was take a deep breath. Okay. There was an orb in the sky. Now, it looked like the sun, right? But from the feeling of it, and, you know, a couple of things like the aspect ratio, the movement and the speed of how the sun was moving, like, because, you know, the sun moves based on the rotation of the earth, and the sun moves in minutes. But what I experienced was the sun moving in seconds. Like, if I didn't record it, then, you know, it would be unbelievable. But, you know, it's even making me excited to this moment because, like, to experience that in real time and then steadfastly after that see it vanish, it literally dematerialized in real time, in seconds. And it was the most creative and exponential experience I've ever had. So I just really felt like I had to release that into the world. Right?
All right. Thanks, Anais. Dr. B, you want to comment on what he just said? Thank you for your call.
First of all, if you're really aware, you'll notice the sky has changed. The stars are in different positions. We have just crossed into a different dimension. We're in a different place in the universe that we've never been before. We're in the photon band or the photon belt, where there is more energy being emitted from the universe into each of us than has ever been in the last 13,000 years. The sky is different. There's ships being seen everywhere. I don't know if people saw the one in Jersey where the ships are in the sky all over the world. We're so focused on other things, we don't realize that the ships are showing themselves. Now, where are they from? Some are from what they call inner space. Some are from outer space. Some of them may be us from the future coming back to try to give us a message. You see? So there's a lot of things that are happening that have been shielded from our consciousness because we've been in TikTok. We've been under so much stress. But this particular time, things are changing. Our vision is changing. You know, we're going to a different level of being. So be aware, be open, and be ready to change. You've got to shift. We can't keep doing the same thing because we're going to keep getting the same results. It's time to shift now and not blame it on somebody else. What about you? What are you willing to do with yourself, for yourself, by yourself, sometimes alone?
Right. Dr. B, you mentioned the skies are changing, and I'm just wondering if what's going on out west, California, Oregon, and Washington State with the fires, because they're saying some of that smoke or some of that haze or whatever you want to call it has moved all the way to New York now to the East Coast and moving in the other direction as well. Is that going to affect us any at all? If you know, I know it's probably affecting the people who live in those particular states out west, but does it affect anybody else?
It's affecting everybody. You see, everybody's being affected by these earth changes, these storms, these mega events. These things we knew they were going to happen because they happen in a cycle. They come around every so often. You see? So, yes, these things are affecting everything. And Chief Seattle, they wanted to buy his land. And what did he say? What do you mean? You're going to buy the birds, the bees, the butterflies, the deer? You can't buy this. So they took it from him, right? That created a curse. You just took it. You took the people's land. So fire this time. Fire is coming back. But there's also a fire within each of us that is growing. That's the solar plexus, the inner fire. Fire sometimes clears the way for new life, because a lot of the plants that are being destroyed, they don't even germinate new plants, like the sequoia tree. It doesn't even make new plants, or the seeds won't germinate until they're under fire. So there's going to be new life in each of us. It's not going to look pretty. Sometimes it's going to be serious. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a challenge. But guess what? Change has to happen. This whole thing has got to happen. This whole thing is changing. Your perception is changing. The world is changing. We must make the change and be the change. This is, for some of us, our last chance to let go and to become somebody new. Rejuvenate, build, cleanse, detoxify, release.
Well, let me jump in here and ask you this thing, because they're talking about all these hurricanes and storms, or there's one now moving, I guess, close to Mobile and that in the Gulf, and there are more hurricanes or storms coming this year than any other year. Is this what man has done, or is this what the Creator is doing? How do you view that?
Some folks would argue that all of us together are the Creator, and how are we thinking? What is the mass consciousness right now? What are we sending out into the atmosphere, right, as people? You see, look how much is going on. Look how much divisiveness, struggle, but also there's good things happening. Creativity, change. It's all happening. Everything that ever could happen and ever will happen is happening right now. So the weather, in the atmosphere, right, the auric field around the earth, the corona of the earth is changing. The sun has changed. It looks different. The moon looks different. A lot of times we're stuck and we think that things stay the same. They don't. Everything is always changing. Everything is always changing. It's just that we sometimes stay stuck. That's part of the virus of the mind, thinking that things are supposed to stay the same. So live the best life you can right now, this particular minute. Mind your business. Stay focused on your perception, how you're seeing things. Have the experience. It's better to have great experiences than to have a lot of money. Have a great experience in your life. Take what you have right now and use it. Sometimes we're wanting so much outside of ourselves, and we get mad when we don't get it. We're like spoiled children. So it's time now to sit down and eat a good meal. Eat slow. Eat a big salad. A lot of times you eat that big salad, you don't even want the rest of this food because you've eaten. Drink some really good spring water. Put a little bit of Celtic sea salt in it. Take a bath. Chill out. Just relax. Breathe. Turn the news off. Turn the social network off. You know what I'm saying? Somebody asked me the other day, said, well, what about smoking some hemp or some CBD? Yes. Get some CBD or something to smoke or, drink, or the drops or something that helps to rejuvenate your nervous system so that you could relax. Or simply try something like the Heaven on Earth product that, we've created. Something that helps you relax and get into the best of yourself and focus on maybe reading a new book. Read something like The Four Agreements. Very good book by Miguel Ruiz. Outwitting the Devil. Oh, my gosh. These are powerful books. If you could just, not just read them, but practice what they're teaching.
All right, hold that thought right there. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, I want you to explain to the audience, what is telomeres? Because you're one of the few black folks that I know who know about telomeres and talk about and teach about telomeres. Folks, you want to join this conversation with Dr. B, reach out to us. And thanks for staying with us, folks. Our guest is Dr. B. Dr. B, of course, is a metaphysician. He's a natural health specialist and also a master herbalist. If you have a question, especially about health or anything else, just reach out to us at 800-450-7876. Before we get back to Dr. B, let me just remind you, in the next few days, you're going to hear from psychiatrist Dr. Pam Newton, Dr. Patricia Newton, one of our power talkers. Also, we're going to talk politics with a blogger, Brandon the blogger. So if you're in the DMV, tell all your friends to keep their radios locked right here on 1450 WOL. Let's go back to Dr. B. So, Dr. B, as I mentioned, telomeres. Explain to the audience, what is telomeres? How can we use them to our advantage?
Well, at the ends of your genes, there's these little strings. So the gene looks like a pair of strings, like shoelaces. And at the bottom, there's like little, like tiny little strings, just like on your shoelace if you took that little cap off, right? Those little strings, right, they dictate how quickly your cells can rejuvenate themselves, how quickly you can heal, or how long you live. Wrapped around those strings to keep the gene tight and keep it from unraveling is called the telomere cap. The telomere cap holds the gene together. When the telomere cap begins to erode, when it begins to break up, right? When it begins to break down or oxidize, then all of a sudden we find out where we begin to age quickly. The cells don't rejuvenate as quick, right? We also don't heal as fast. We're slow to heal. That's what they call aging. You see, when the telomere is tight, we're youthful. We're in our youth. As we begin to age, we begin to lose our youth, or that gene begins to unravel. The telomere begins to unravel. So the telomeres, right, tell your genes or tell your body. It's like a telephone. Those little antennas, they alert your entire body to how old it is, to how quickly it can heal, how much energy it has. You see, all of those things are dictated by the telomere. What happens to the telomere cap is through environmental stress, that's mental stress, right? Through the foods that we eat that erode the body, that cause the body to have to, try to fight to live and survive each day, which is a lot of the food that's in the standard American diet. A lot of those foods actually erode your life force and break off your telomeres, you see? So things that cause stress is your thought patterns, your nervous system, what you're experiencing, how you talk, how you act. And it has been known that people who change these things, change their habits, change what they're eating, they begin to get youthful again. You see what I'm saying? Some people lose their youth because they lose their youth. They don't do what they used to do. They used to have habits. They used to fish. They used to play music. They got older and they don't do them anymore. So the you-ness, the original you, your original ID, the identifier called me, begins to what? Break down because you're not doing the you thing, the thing that you do naturally. Most of us are born with some natural talents. And as we get older, we begin to leave the natural talents behind, especially if it's of a creative nature. That begins to break off the telomeres. So many years, Dick Gregory came to me and he said, hey, look, what do you got for the telomeres? And I was surprised. I was like, I hadn't heard anybody talk about that. And I had been working on a product for years to help repair telomeres, and I knew that we needed gold, iridium, palladium, and platinum. Those particular very rare minerals broken down into what they call a high spin state, or nanoparticles, or monoatomic elements, or M elements, monoatomic elements. They're very small particles of these very rare metals that help to repair the telomeres. Also, humic acid and fulvic acid are things that help to repair the telomeres. It helps to get rid of the heavy metals, because the heavy metals in the body, which comes from aluminum and lead and air conditioning and chemicals in the air and all of that, those chemicals also short out the telomeres, which are like antennas, so they can't pick up the information that they need to keep your body at peak performance. So you begin to age. You begin to get sick, you see? So Dick Gregory came to me and he said, what do you have? And I began to work with him to put together this product called Platinum Life Elixir. It's now called the Gregory Reserve. And it has those elements. And this one, it opens up your pineal gland, makes your pineal gland, because it feeds the calcite crystals in your pineal gland that makes it work. Your pineal gland has these little crystals that keeps you focused on who you truly are. Right? That's what they call the seat of the soul, your pineal gland. A lot of people have lost their selfness because their pineal is just, it's not working correctly. It's not being fed. The other thing that this does is it helps to get rid of the heavy metals in the body, but it repairs the telomeres. Well, actually, it doesn't repair the telomeres. It helps your body repair the telomeres by giving your body these very rare elements. A lot of folks right now, because of the COVID, because of 2020, their telomeres are frayed. More people around the world than ever have broken telomeres because of the constant, fear. The news, oh boy, where it's at, who it's killed, how many died, what country it's in. Oh, 20,000 died last night. I mean, that took people into a fear pandemonium, right, during this whole pandemic. A lot of people's immune systems are shot because they were so focused on the television, on the news, on the spin, on the media. Then politics was flung in there. Oh, there's two things between the virus and politics, and who's winning and who's fighting and who's lying and who's not. Oh, let me tell you something. Folks basically are scattered. Not everybody, because some folks know how to take full control of themselves and know how to rejuvenate and find peace in their lives and let some of that go and realize that most of this is an illusion. It's a play on words. It's a game, you see. But a lot of folks, most of the people in the world don't know that. See, so, something like the Platinum Life Elixir can help repair the telomere damage, you see. Then we've got the cleanse to help detoxify your body from all the toxins, because people have more toxins built up now, maybe than ever. Because as you're living in a fear paradigm, as you're afraid, as you're living in grief, right, your body makes toxins. And the food that you've eaten have made toxins. Those toxins have got to be released. Otherwise, guess what? You're going to get caught in the flu season. And as you know, they're going to pump this flu season up like they've never pumped, because they need you to take their antiviral vaccine. They need it. Somebody needs to sell it. They've got several of them. So it's about time for you to take control of your life. But something like platinum can help you think, because it also helps your thought pattern so that you can stay focused on a goal. If you're focused on a goal, you don't have time for the rest of this stuff.
Right. Hang on a sec, Dr. B. 800-450-7876. Cynthia's joining us. Cynthia's in Silver Spring, Maryland on line 1. Cynthia, you're on with Dr. B.
Yes. Hello, Dr. B, and thank you for taking my call, Car. I like what the doctor is saying. I'm going to try to make this quick about the diet and the thinking positively. And recently I started a fast. I had to go to the doctor, and I had to fast for almost the whole day. And the next day I was amazed how I had healing in parts of my body that was aching, And I said, wow, this fasting. And I've been pretty much a good eater in the last, say, 10, 20 years. I've changed my diet, but still diet was not helping, but the fasting did. However, I believe that humans, are being gravely impacted here on Earth, significantly that is causing devastating effects on the planet and on our human health. And trying the vaccine, they're trying to vaccine the whole planet and control our health and even our existence. And these, for example, I walk out in nature a lot. You can call me a tree hugger, but the trees do not look healthy this year. I don't know if it's just the heat, but even before the heat, the trees did not look well. Our community, the Black community, I believe, is gravely oblivious to these changes. Very few people are talking about these things. We are so distracted by the media, the vaccines, the election, the president, and these media things are planned to keep us distracted from the earth and what is happening, what is going on. We're going to be shocked one day we wake up and all the trees are gone or the planet is a desert. We need to wake up to what is happening to the planet, because that is affecting humanity. What is happening to the trees is affecting us. What can we do to become more alert to these things? It's not just our physical diet. The earth is unhealthy. We are unhealthy. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Cynthia. Dr. B?
I don't know. I'm pretty healthy here. I don't know about the we thing. And, the trees have always been going through something. They change. The tree is expanding. It doesn't look the same as you think it should look, right? But one thing we can do is focus on a new world, a new earth. It's cleansing. It's always been doing this. You see, it's happening everywhere. There's a cleansing. There's a change. We've got to change our vibration, change our frequency, change the way of walking, change the way we're talking. But we always revert to what is bad. I very seldom hear about what's good. I'm not saying there's not bad things. If we could just go 50-50. Let's just go 50-50. Let's mention how bad things are. The other part of your conversation, how good is it? How many people have changed? How many millionaires have popped up in the last year that look like you? How many people with new ideas have popped up? How many people started a website and a business in their garage? How many people are selling masks? There's people got a whole business selling masks. Because whenever there's a problem, there's somebody else with a solution. You could create the solution. You've got to be the medicine. We can't keep talking about what they're doing. There's nothing you're going to be able to do because you could focus all day on what you can't control, and all it does is it stresses you out and makes you sick. But what if you focused on what you can control? Can you control what you're about to eat? It's like the sister said. She fasted for one day, and her body began to heal. If she fasted for 28 days, her whole life would change. She wouldn't even be able to utter some of the things about what the world is doing because your world will change because you changed your dimension. You've changed your what? Vibration. So what looks bad to somebody else could look good to somebody else. You see, I'm not saying that the world isn't challenged. People aren't being challenged. It is true, but we've always been challenged. It's just that now we're seeing it more. Now there's cameras. But you have got to get focused. Otherwise, we're going to lose the plot. No matter what they're trying to do, no matter what they're saying, there's certain things that you don't have to go along with if you have your own true autonomy. And until they're knocking at your door, they didn't come to your door with a needle. They forced some of those foods in your mouth when you went to the grocery store. You did that. You chose that. But people don't want to be, they want to be responsible. There's always got to be a devil. There's always somebody else. It's always somebody else's fault. I'm saying,
right.
Let's look at ourselves.
Dr. B, we've run out of time. So I want you to give all the information about the classes that you're having and how can folks reach you.
Okay, elevationtime.com is our website. Elevationtime.com, Time. And my website is elevationtime.com. A phone number, 323-931-1212.